SUI is one hell of a project, but how high can the price actually go in that bullish market that I'm expecting in 2025? In today's video, we're exploring just that. How many percentage gains can we see on SUI in this next big run? As I get into today's video, guys, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe, and let's jump right down into the charts. So we're going to be taking a look at SUI here, paired up with USDT on the 1-day Binance chart, and well, it is a very interesting chart to see. We obviously see the wick low all the way down here on the chart. This is all the way back in May of 2023, and it started out at 10 cents. This is project launch. We can see that this surged up on that day very, very well, with a peak price coming in at $2. So a phenomenal run straight out of the gate. Okay, but we did of course see, like we always do, a bit of a cooling off. Okay, this is 1,977% straight out of the gate. And so we did phenomenally well here. But of course, everything like that cools off quite extremely. And there was huge opportunities to be dollar cost averaging into SUI as we saw these kind of cool offs. This was an 82.43% crash from the peak all the way down here to the trough back in October of 2023. Now, why am I talking about the history of SUI in this particular video? We're supposed to be talking about the price action moving up higher. Well, in order for us to understand how high SUI goes, we first have to appreciate the kind of percentage movements that it's had since its inception here on the Binance chart. And it's been a phenomenal ride so far, with a brief correction and a setting of a new all-time high in early 2024. So what's next? How can we use the history to try to predict out the future? Well, we've seen another crash for SUI since March 2024 down to its lows most recently in August, a 78.81% drop. And well, we have another great reversal at the moment, with potential for this to break out even further. Dollar cost averaging where we are might be a fantastic idea, but again, I'm no financial advisor and I cannot give you financial advice. But my expectation on the current price action is a little bit further to the downside and then a fantastic surge to the upside. The fair value gap here is interesting, but I don't expect us to fill this one out. It would take us down to 65 cents, but I'm not looking for that. I think we'll find support somewhere in and around 73 cents on that next pull to the downside. Okay, so knowing that we've seen a lot of volatility, an 80% drop, a 70% drop, and of course a rally to new all-time highs in early 2024, what does the future hold for SUI, and is it going to be as fantastic as many people believe? Well, SUI's predictions and price predictions are quite difficult to do because there is a lack of data. We can of course try to best to kind of predict out where things could be going. And it does look to me like a new all-time high is something that we could potentially expect for SUI in the near future, specifically as I think about 2025 and the bullish market that I'm expecting next year. This is going to basically take us out, in my opinion, towards $2.77 to $4.22, meaning that from the most recent low, what we saw back here in August, there was an opportunity to dollar cost average into SUI and see percentage gains of around 500 to about 819%. If we were to have bought into SUI during the 2023 moves to the downside, those kind of percentages become 1,000. And if we consider the actual beginning, we'll be talking about 4,151%. Now, all of these numbers are quite interesting. They're interesting because when a crypto project launches, the way that they kind of move is through kind of hype, through speculation, and basically being community driven. So I think SUI has an interesting community, interesting marketing strategies, and the potential to potentially break out of what we're talking about here. Because there's a lack of data, it's very, very difficult for us to be very predictive over where it is going. Specifically when we see candles like this on launch, and we see how impulsive it can be at times. So although a nice kind of conservative target will be between 200 $2.77 and $4.22, there's potential that it does a little bit more. Most new projects in crypto, when they've got a huge following and a significant kind of marketing strategy, they usually do 10, 15, maybe even 20,000% from the lows to the tops. And we could potentially be looking here at just around 4,500. So this could dwarf the expectations on the price action. So if we take a look at this and we start thinking, okay, what's the average of a project that has good marketing, good community, and lots of hype and speculation? Well, we could start to be thinking about the price action potentially going more towards $10, potentially even upwards towards $15, and if we're really lucky, talking about $20. Now, these are, just ideas to be kind of bouncing around, speculative ideas. But for example, we saw Cardano do 17,000%. We saw Polygon's Matic do 45,000%. Harmony One do 28,000%, or 32,000, sorry. And we saw VeChain do 28,000. So my point here is that you have to kind of expect the unexpected at times. And if we were to start thinking about the extensions of the Fibonacci chart rather than just the typical kind of Elliott wave stuff, well, in that particular case, you start thinking about the 2.618s, the 3.618s, and the 4.618s. And these particular numbers actually drive out very interesting numbers, specifically as we start thinking about $6 or $38 and $39. Okay, so there's huge potential within the price action for SUI, but it does require a lot of speculative investment. It involves a lot of people kind of getting behind the project, hyping it up, and trying to drive that price as high as possible. Obviously, to drive price, it really requires only two things: the supply and the demand. If you can increase the demand while simultaneously decreasing the supply, well, you're off to the races with some fantastic price potential. So want to bear these things in mind. There's a lot of speculation out there in terms of price predictions for SUI. My conservative targets are going to be between $2.77 and $4.22. That would be my kind of 1 to 1.236 Fibonacci sequencing levels based on Elliott wave theory. But I wouldn't be surprised if this project overperforms and does better than that. But you guys can let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know what your price predictions are, and join us in our free Discord server so we can continue the conversations down there. If you found this video useful, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe, and don't forget to check out my second channel where I go through the Cardano technical analysis every single day.